Yo, back in the blue car, the Honda Civic that has no Bluetooth. So if somebody calls me, I don't have to restart the video. Awesome. Anyway, if you tell from the title of the video, if I ever upload this, which I don't think I have in like 6 months, but no, not 6 months, I don't know. Yeah, who cares? Gonna review Dear Evan Hansen, the movie. Oh man, oh jeez. So, we saw the play, I don't know, like 3 years ago now. I think it was like, 3 years ago. I saw the play 3 years ago, something like that. My wife didn't want to see it. She didn't know what it was about. She only likes things if she knows what it's about. Hence as to why we've seen Frozen 6 times and Aladdin twice and that other Idina Menzel one. Like 5. Cinderella. We've seen. I've seen more plays with my wife in the last 10 years than I've seen movies in theaters. But anyway, we went and we saw this one. So she really liked the play. She liked the songs. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically about a guy in high school. I guess he's a junior at the beginning of the show. Or no, senior. Either way, it doesn't really matter. He's got like social anxieties and depression and all these other things, and he's very awkward. And he's the weird kid that you saw in high school that didn't talk to anybody, and he's just that guy, and he does weird things. But anyway, he's not really weird. He's just weird. I.e. myself. But basically the premise is the weird guy he writes a letter to himself as part of his therapy. School bully who's a drug addict and has anger problems finds the letter. Next day he kills himself. And then it's a whole story about how the weird guy who has no friends was actually the best friend of the bully. And he lies to the family over the course of the entire year, fucks the sister, and then eventually unravels and blah, blah, blah. They cut out a couple songs. Mostly songs from his mom. Actually, I think it's almost all songs from his mom. And then one song from the dad. The only thing that's kind of weird, and I don't know why, but they made the friend, his family, they call him his family friend, because he's related to him. In the play, he's related to him, but in the movie, he's a friend of the family. And then he's also gay. And it serves no purpose to the story whatsoever that he's gay. At all. Whether he's gay or straight, it doesn't matter. Unless they just did it because, what is it, the Oscars say you have to have a certain amount of gay characters. Pretty sure he's the only gay character in the movie, openly. But, serves no purpose to the story whatsoever. And it's literally like a throwaway line when he comes up and he's like, oh yeah, I made out with some hot Brazilian guy at summer camp. And that's it. And you're like, what? Why is he gay now? Because later on, and the whole, I wouldn't say, premise of his character is to be like a dick, really? And he kind of rips on him, on Evan Hansen, for being gay, and with the guy who kills himself, his name is Connor. And there's a whole song about how they come off as gay and as lovers in the email exchanges that he makes up. And it doesn't make any sense for this guy who's now gay to be mocking him for being gay, because he's literally saying that, like, you sound super gay. But he says it like, you sound super fucking gay, dude. And someone who's gay wouldn't say that. He might say, oh yeah, that sounds little gay. He's like, sounds pretty gay. You're gay. And he, like, that's the whole point of the character, is to be a dick. And I don't know. And then what else did they change? They took out the songs with the mom. One thing I noticed, my wife didn't catch it. They're playing the music to the last song with the mom. Not the last song, but like the one where he gets into a fight with his mom in song form, obviously, that they cut from the movie. They play the music for that in the opening pep rally. So I thought that was cool, but they didn't do it anywhere else. It was only that one song and that one time. And they cut like 4 or 5 songs. Apparently everyone is suicidal in this school. Because there's a girl who sets up this organization. That's the other part of the story. They set up this organization it's like the third branch of the story. There's all these branching plots. They also cut out that the mom's in med school. I don't know why, but they did. They cut out a lot of things for time, because the movie was fucking 2 hours, but what's another 6 minutes when your movie's fucking 2 hours long? And, you know, we were there was maybe 6 people in the theater on opening day, so what does it mean, you know? Anyway. It's basically the people who saw it in theaters, on Broadway. I was like, oh, yeah, that's my shit. And then they saw it and they're like, oh, you cut like 6 songs. And then you added 2 more songs. What's just the other thing? Well, that's the point I'm making. The one character, she's the student body president. She runs all the groups, blah, blah. Turns out she's also depressed and suicidal. In the play, it's only alluded to because there's maybe one part in the play where she walks across the stage singing the opening song, the waving through a window song. I'm sure if you're looking at this, you're like, oh yeah, that's my shit. But in the play, that's the only hint you get that she's also suffering from shit until like almost the end. But they tell you like right in the beginning, and then she sings a song about it, and then she re-sings the song again, and then she sings the song again. But in the play, she just figures out that he's lying. I'm pretty sure. I can't really remember that much. But in the movie, she straight up is just like, nope, I have no idea, and then he comes out with it. But yeah, everybody's suicidal in this school. The sister's suicidal. He's suicidal. The brother was suicidal. The student body president's suicidal. The friend is suicidal. Because there's all instances in the movie where they literally all try to kill themselves at one point in the movie. Okay. You guys want to kill yourself? Okay. One of the bigger complaints that I've seen people say is, you're going to have Ben Platt play an 18-year-old kid in high school. He's 31. Who cares he's fucking 31? It's a movie. You think the guy who plays the friend is now gay? Like, is he gay? Like, you have to have an 18-year-old kid? I mean, sure, they could have picked maybe one of the people who played him later on. But I mean, Ben Platt's the original Evan Hansen, so why not have the original? But then they also didn't get the original other people, so that's another thing I was wondering about. What else? Honestly, they cut the finale. They cut the final song. We were sitting there watching the movie, and Amy's my wife. She likes the final song. I don't know why. It's only like a minute and a half, but they cut it, and she's sitting there. The fuck? And I didn't even notice because they sing a song right before, and she's like, no, they cut the final song. Because she'll sit there on Spotify and listen to all these Broadway plays on Spotify. you pretty much get the gist of the entire story from listening to it on Spotify, the play. There's not much. It's almost like Hamilton, where there's little talking and a lot of singing. Yeah, they cut the final song. Why would you cut the final song for a shot of the orchard? Because that was the point of the fundraiser, was to rebuild the orchard, because that's where he lied and he said he went with a friend, but the orchard had been closed or whatnot. I don't remember. I'm tired. But anyway, overall, I thought it was an okay movie. I wouldn't see it again. I saw it once, and I wouldn't see it again. I'd see the play again. The play was good. The thing my wife noticed too was, and it could have just been like, overacting, but he was like, the best way to describe Evan Hansen is a Morty. He's literally a Morty who goes, I'm just trying to, wave out this window, man, and then he runs away. Oh, and he runs away. That's the best way to describe him. And then halfway through the play, he becomes a wreck. He becomes like a modern version of Morty, where he's more confident and all that stuff. Anyway, that's the best way to describe him. The main song, the Waving Through a Window song, they sing it first song, they cut out like 2 other songs and a whole basically they cut out all the opening character development. So in the play, the first song, you meet Evan, his mom, and then you meet Connor and his family, and they sing about how they're struggling, but one's poor, the other was really wealthy. You learn that Connor's a huge dick, and he's an asshole to everybody in his family, which is why you're not supposed to really feel bad for him when he dies, but then he still dies, and you're kind of like, oh no. Like, he's really like a really bad school bully who just does drugs, beats people up, and starts, that guy. There's that guy with the all black, with the painted nails and the gauge earrings, and he thinks he's badass, and he just sucker punches everybody and gets really loud and yells at them. That's him. Beats up the sister all the time. You're not supposed to really feel sorry for him. It's like, oh no, he killed himself. And then you learn that he's really this deep person, and he's got all this stuff, and people just misunderstand you. That's the whole point of the story. You don't know, don't judge a book by cover, blah, blah, blah. They get rid of all of that, so you first see him, and he's just being a dick. And he yells at Evan Hansen, and you get into a fight, and then he comes back, and he apologizes to him. That's when he takes the note. He takes the note, he goes, and he kills himself. Because he thought even this weird kid I thought I could be friends with, even he mocks me. Bang, and then he kills himself. So they got rid of all that character building. You have no idea who any of these characters are, unless you saw the play. You're like, oh, that's this one, that's this one, that's this one, that's this one. What else? I'm trying to remember, because I said we saw it Friday. It's now Wednesday. They cut out a lot of the character development with the friend too, because all of a sudden the friend is just there, like they're really good friends all of a sudden, and they cut out all that. he's like, I don't want to talk to you, don't talk to me, and then eventually he just comes around. He's always around. And then when they do the fundraiser, it's a GoFundMe, but same thing, GoFundMe. He's part of the club. Oh, that's the other point I wanted to make. The opening song, the waving through the, well, not the opening song, but the waving through the window song in the movie. When you see it on stage, they have a Twitter feed going on one side, on both sides of the theater. There's YouTube videos kind of like playing in the background. There's comments all over, flying around. The window that he's waving through is not an actual window. It's a window on the computer screen window. Because literally he's sitting there looking on Facebook, trying to talk to people, and they just ignore him. He's staring at their pictures, what he's saying, you know. Nobody can see him because he's waving through the window. And in the movie, he's waving literally through a window. Take away kind of like stuff from that. When he gives his big speech, it's literally like the last song before intermission on the thing. They play like all these YouTube videos. The one that always drives me crazy, and it was the one I was hoping they wouldn't keep in, but they kept in because it's just 20 seconds, literally 5 seconds. It's just somebody, they're reading the comments that they type, like, oh, I really needed this today, I needed this. Somebody, and it's always somebody does this on these videos, where they just say, and then they're watching the speech, and he's just like, 17 years old. Yeah, okay, what, you're saying he's only 17 so he can't do anything? Fuck you. Like, it fucking drives me crazy. I don't know. It's just me. But I hate people who do that. This is my 2-year-old. 2 years old. Oh, okay, cool. No one cares how old he is. You needed to comment that 17 years old. Nothing else, just 17 years old. That drives me crazy. That's just me, because I'm weird. But overall, the movie was pretty good. Like I said, I wouldn't see it. Oh, Jesus, my ass is vibrating. I wouldn't see it again. I wouldn't see it again. I wouldn't pay for it, that's for damn sure. Overall, I'd give it a 6. 6 out of 10. It was a little long, but that's fine. Because Broadway shows are long. If you're going to make it 2 hours, just go for the gusto, man. Just make it 2:30 and put every song in. Because, you know, I'm sure there's people, like my wife, whose favorite song was cut. So, and here we go. See, my friend's calling me now. But anyway, I'll end that there. I'd definitely give it a 6 out of 10. When it comes out on HBO Max or wherever, just fucking watch it there. Save yourself some money. And yeah, that's it. See you later.